Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Wartales. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about $35. There is a 10% launch discount until December 8th, 2021. I stress early access, that means everything that you're about to see here is subject to change. So what is Wartales? Well, according to the Steam description, it is an open-world RPG in which you lead a group of mercenaries in their search for wealth across a massive medieval universe. Explore the world, recruit companions, collect bounties, and unravel the secrets of the tomes of the ancients. So, I've played this for a bit, and this game gives me some serious Battle Brother vibes. Now, for those of you that have never played Battle Brothers is what Wartale describes it to be. It is this open world environment. You've got a party of, say, 3 to 6 people. In this game, I started with 4, I think it was. And you're going to go out and kind of do what you want. Kind of similar to, say, Mountain Blade. Where, okay, do you want to go on a quest? You can do that. Do you just want to go out and explore? You can do that. There are multiple paths in which to travel. You can come across a town, for example, and this person might give you a quest, or you might go in this direction and they might give you a completely different quest that might send you off over here. It's up to you on what kind of story you want to tell. Whenever you first create a new game, you'll choose a scenario, and you unlock more scenarios as you play. You'll have access to one in the very beginning. And then you choose a party type. And this party type will influence what kind of classes that you start with. For example, you might start with a fighter, an archer, a ranger, and something else. And then if you choose this party instead, you might start with these 4 classes or whatnot. And these classes and these people that you have will level up over time, and you can even recruit new companions as you play the game. You can even get animals. You can buy horses in this game. You might start with a pony that might help you lug things around and increase your inventory cap and so on. But each of your people they're not red shirts. You need to take care of them, like in Battle Brothers. You need to make sure that you're managing their armor, their happiness. You have to feed them and so on. So you level them up and keep them alive, and they will do wonders for you. But sometimes, like in Battle Brothers, RNG can really kick you in the face. I mean, if you've ever played Battle Brothers, you'll know what I'm talking about. That game is brutal and challenging. This game is no exception. There are 3 difficulties in this game. There's easy, medium, and hard. I'm playing on easy. You can set the companion difficulty, which is how often, how high their wages are, their happiness, and so on. There's also, just general difficulty as well. But I would go easy if I were you. Otherwise, you may feel frustrated trying to get acclimated to the game. There was no tutorial going into this. I was thrown into the environment, and I had to figure it out. In addition to choosing your party type, you're also going to pick your bonus and your negative traits. So you've got a bonus trait and a negative trait that you're going to pick from. There's a list. And then you go out. And then, again, you just sort of go out and pick what you want to do. Now, there's something called knowledge points in this game. It's kind of like a tech tree, where as you gain knowledge points and you get to the next level, you can decide, I want to learn this now. For example, run. That gives you the ability to, run for a couple of seconds on the main maps. You can elude enemies or whatnot. Instead, you can do rationing, which your troop eats 1 less food each day. You can choose the 4 money perk, which is crowns, which is money, gained from a battle, increased by 5%. There are a number of feats that are available in the beginning, but you unlock more as you play. If you don't want general knowledge, you can go into specific crafting knowledge. There's a workshop, there's an anvil tree, and there's 3 others that I have not yet discovered. In the workshop tree, you'll have access to lockpick recipes, fish hooks. You can fish in this game. Fishing, by the way, is a mini game. You just have to hold and click the left mouse button, and the bar will go to the right. But if you let it go, the bar automatically goes to the left. So you kind of have to keep it in the middle by clicking, let go, and so on. It's simple. Anyway, so you can decide to learn new recipes via knowledge points by clicking on the workshop tab or the anvil tab. The anvil are weapons and armor, that kind of thing. You'll find various collectibles in the environment that you can just loot in general, like wood, flowers, and iron ore, and then you can use these things to craft. And you assign professions to your people. So my party started off, no one knew anything. But if I wanted to become a blacksmith, I said, yeah, let's go ahead and make him an apprentice blacksmith. And now this guy is able to craft stuff at an anvil. And then I made this guy a fisher. Okay, now he can fish. But you only have 4 party members in the beginning, so there's more than 4 professions. So you kind of have to pick and choose where you want to go until you start hiring more people, and then you can get more professions. So long story short, you start off with a party. There's knowledge points. There's also a grand campaign story. It's basically every scenario has its own story, and there are certain quests that will allow you to put it'll fill up a meter showing that, okay, you've now completed this story, the main story, toward this scenario, and now this meter fills up, and it basically shows you how close you are to, finishing the overall story. Like, for example, in my playthrough, I had the choice to either help a captain or a group of bandits. I could take either mission. I chose to side with the guard, and I went and killed the bandits, and now I got plus 20 purple quest points or whatever it is toward the main scenario. So you'll be finding these little storylines as you go. There's also suspicion. You can actually do nasty things in this game. You can steal. You can do bad things. So you can see what your wanted level is via a meter, which is interesting. You have to manage group happiness. How well are your troops fed? You have to keep them fed. There's a little fatigue meter, and you have to camp when it goes all the way down. You camp, you feed your people, you pay their wages, and so as long as you keep them well fed and paid, they will remain happy typically. The larger your troop size, the harder it is, but so it goes. There's influence in this game, which is used to recruit new companions or perform certain dialogue actions. Like, there was a quest. I can go to the inn, and I was given a group of quests that I could choose to take. They ranged from easy to hard, and I had to go get these group of farmers that were trying to hunt and bring them back. Well, I could have, one of the options was give them venison so that they go home, or convince them via influence to just go home. So I chose influence, and I automatically just completed the dialogue without having to do anything, but I spent my influence points to do it. But you gain influence over time by, battling and doing other things. So choosing when to spend your influence, it's sort of like a currency that you have to manage, which is interesting. There's also valor points. These are special. This is like another currency pool that you have that is split among all of your fighters, all of your people. So most of your people have some kind of special action that they can perform in combat. Like the swordsman, I think, has a taunt ability, but that's tied to valor. So every time you use that taunt ability, it uses a valor point. Valor points, whenever they're used, are permanently gone until you rest at a campsite. Then you regain some back. There are certain skills that you can get whenever you level up that allow you to regain them automatically. But typically, you gain Valor points back by resting. So these Valor points are like a universal pool that allow your people to use special abilities. Of course, you've got wages, so you have a money pool that you have to worry about, and you can buy equipment. You have to repair items that will typically cost you repair or raw materials to do that. So very, very akin to Battle Brothers that way. There's also a paths section where it's sort of like an achievement tracker, but this achievement tracker also benefits your party in various ways. There's 4 different, I guess, achievement trees, if for lack of better term. They're like stories. For example, there's the Power and Might tab, which every time you win a battle or complete missions, you gain points toward that. And whenever you level that, you gain something good. Like level 2, maximum valor points increased by 1. And then you can see your various titles on the bottom for that particular storyline. You can complete multiple at once. For example, my trade and wealth, I'm leveling at the same time as my power and might, just by doing things in the environment. Trade and wealth, for completing scenario missions, by selling weapons, I gain points for a variety of different things. The titles earned for the trade and wealth tree is different. than the power and might. There's also crime and chaos, battles won in ambush, meaning that whenever you see enemies in the environment, there's a vision cone. If you come up behind them and attack them, you ambush them and gain an advantage in combat. And just by doing that, you earn points toward that, which is interesting. And by getting to level 2 in that tree, you can gain access to assassination missions in the list of bounty missions that you can do. There's also, lastly, the mysteries and wisdom tree. By discovering professions and locations, just by exploring, you gain points toward this, and you gain titles and bonuses. So you don't have to do anything special to advance these. Just continue playing, and you'll advance these depending on what your actions are. And overall, I have to say, like, this is, for an early access game, this is pretty solid. I haven't been able to put it down this morning. My biggest complaints right now, there's UI scaling, in my opinion, that needs to be addressed. The main menu, for example, the text is very small, and there's no way to adjust the UI to make the text bigger. And so I would really like to see something like that. Leveling in this game is locked in some ways. Like, you're sort of ramrodded into a particular I don't say profession, but like a particular combat style. For example, you're swordsman. Whenever you level up a character, you can not only put points into an attribute like strength or dexterity or constitution, but you can also choose like one of 3 different specializations. And sometimes you're locked. If you choose the wrong skill, for example, you won't be able to wear certain armor. At level 3, my swordsman can either be a protector, a fighter, or a swordsman. The swordmaster specialization can wear medium armor. The fighter can wear heavy, and the protector can wear heavy. So once you choose one of these, you're kind of like locked into wearing a particular armor type for that character. So you're specializing them, and it prevents them from doing certain things if you choose something else. And I don't like that. I wish I could like experiment rather than being ramrodded into a particular playstyle for a particular character. But I guess at the same time, you know, you're specializing. You're sort of telling the story for that person, what they want to do. Also, loot in this game is kind of strange. Whenever you win, I've looted my dagger, like a dagger here and there, but if I defeat 3 people on the field and they all have weapons, I don't get to loot those weapons. Sometimes I'll get an RNG weapon that's just random, but typically it's just crowns or, you know, something. Mostly it's just money. Why can't I pick up the weapons that they were carrying or the armor that they were carrying and then sell that for money? My guess is that it's a balance issue, but I'm guessing that would break the game. That would give you too much money. But I would, like Battle Brothers, whenever you defeat enemies in combat, there's a lot of stuff you can pick up. Even if it's crap, you can still bring it back to town and sell it. In this game, it seems like loot is a lot more limited. I would like to see that change to where it's more realistic. If someone's attacking me with a bow and arrow and I kill him, I should be able to pick up that bow and arrow and either use it or bring it back to town. Even if it's crap, I still want to sell it for some money. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem all that realistic. You do have an inventory that you have to manage, a weight limit, so maybe that has something to do with it too. Maybe the developers are trying to figure out how best to handle inventory management and, possibly adding more loot to the game, but typically, when I kill anyone, it's crowns. I just get money. So I would like to see more various loot and an abundance of loot so I have more reason to go back into town and sell stuff. But again, with this being early access, I'm thinking that the developers are still like trying to figure stuff out. But these are the folks behind Northgard, which is a very good RTS game that's very akin to Majesty 2, and well, not Majesty 2, but more like Kingdoms, or the Settlers rather. I'm getting my games mixed up at this point. But yeah, Northgard is more akin to like the Settlers, and it's a pretty fantastic game, I think. Is it Shiro Games has done a very good job with that. And this game is no different. I haven't had any crashes or anything like that. It's pretty solid. But I would like to see some improvements made over time. Hopefully they continue to improve this game over early access. But yeah, if you enjoyed Battle Brothers and are looking for a similar experience, I would check this out. It's pretty good. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.